What's up, guys? Rick from DFS on Demand here, and the topic that I want to cover today is in terms of contest selection. So as we start a new NFL season where there's going to be a lot more contests, there's going to be a lot bigger contests. I think this is the one thing that most DFS players kind of bungle the most. So this understanding contests, the structure, the payout, all that stuff, without even becoming a better player, gives you an opportunity to win more money, or sometimes when you have bad lineups, just preserve more money. So I'm going to use NFL examples because I've got a bunch of contests up in the lobby right now, but this obviously applies to every sport and every single contest that you are looking to play. So let's jump into it. This is a topic that it's pretty long overdue for us to talk about, but it kind of came up and ignited a little bit more recently when I posted on Twitter this. And if you're watching on the video, this is a screenshot that I posted when I max entered the Tour Championship for the PGA Tour. I did 150 lineups into the big $5 drive the green, the 200,000 to first. And then I did the same exact lineups in the mini max, which is the 50 cent an entry 150 max. And what you're looking at is, again, the same exact lineups turned a profit in the mini max, a return of 88 on 75. So what's that, like 10, 20% return, something like that, a little less, 18. And then in the big drive the green, we lost about 30% of the buy-in, a return of 526 on 750. So when you're looking at that, of course, there's differences. Maybe there were better lineups in the $5, maybe there's better players there, all valid, but these are the same exact lineups with obviously the same exact scores. You would not expect a discrepancy of this nature when doing something like this. So it really stands out because these two contests have completely different payout structures. The top heavy drive the green, and then the mini max is much more flat, which I'll walk through some examples. So this is kind of what sparked it, and I just wanted to make sure to show you that right off the bat here. Let's jump into it. So what you're looking at right now, if you're watching on the video version of this, is just the straight up DraftKings lobby that you see all the time. And the number one thing I encourage you to do is try to determine what your goals are. What types of contests do you need to play to accomplish your goals? So if you just want to be a professional DFS player and grind out 50-50s or triple ups or quadruple ups, like, understand what you need to do to accomplish that, and those are the types of contests you should be playing. If you just want a lottery ticket to try to win a sexy $1 million first prize, enter the Millionaire Maker, right? Like, understanding what your goals are. I play this mostly for entertainment purposes. I do not consider myself a professional. If I make money, great, but I at least understand the process and what my goals are to get out of this. I don't want to grind 50-50s. I want to play GPPs and try to win $1 million or try to win 50,000 or whatever the top prize is that week. So that right there is step number one. And step number two is knowing what the rake is. So how much DraftKings or whatever site you're taking or whatever site you're using takes off the top. So for example, $5 million worth of prizes in the Millionaire Maker in week one. Obviously, DraftKings makes money on that, right? They're making a 15% margin. So they're making what is 5 million plus 15%, and they're only paying out $5 million of it, right? So if we do a little quick math here, $20 entry fee times the 294 1,000 or 100 entries, that's about 5.8 million. So they're going to take in 5.8 million. They're going to pay 5 million out. So the rake, what DraftKings is making on that is the $882,000. Okay, so that's the margin. If you're watching on the video, I have a Chrome extension plugged into my DraftKings here. Okay, so I installed the Roto Grinders. I should get its official name. I think it is called the Roto Grinders DraftKings tool. It is in the Chrome extension store. I will link it below. I am in no way affiliated with Roto Grinders, but I do think this is a really good tool because what you can see is as I'm in the lobby here, it's telling me without even having to click into these contests, what the rake is on all of them. So the Millionaire Maker being raked at 15% is obviously much steeper than the Wildcat being raked at only 10%. So what you'll notice is usually the higher the buy-in, the lower the rake. Okay, they don't drag the higher buy-in players through it as much. And if you look down here, this $1,500, it's only being raked at 5.5%. So that's a big difference over time. If a contest is being raked at 10% versus 15% or 5% versus 10%, it's a huge difference over time and how much money is getting back into the ecosystem. So I highly encourage you to download this. It's been very useful for me. And what I also like about it is when you click into a contest payout or like into the details here, it will actually show you up at the top here, again, how much rake they're taking, how many spots are paid. So in this case, the Millionaire Maker is paying 22.8% of the field. What the min cash is, so that's important to me, 1.5%. And then how much of the prize pool is first prize and how much is going to the top 10. So to me, there's a couple things that are of note. The top and the bottom, basically. So the top half of this is so top heavy. It's how they get the $1 million first prize, right? That's the marketing. They throw that $1 million at the top, and then they've got to figure out a way. I mean, they're paying out 20% of the entire prize pool of a 294,000 entry contest to the winner. It's fairly insane. So then it's obviously a steep drop off to 200,000 in second place. So we'll talk more about the top in a second, but the bottom is also really concerning to me. And this is not, again, if you were trying to grind out profits every week, this type of contest is not the way to do it. It's just not. I mean, you're here for the lottery ticket and the chance to win $1 million. It's great for that purpose. It is not great for trying to turn an ROI. So the bottom of this, while it pays out 23% of the field, the first payout is only 1.5 times your money, which again, over time is a really big deal. The fact that it's not double your money. You don't double your money until you get into 32,000th, whatever that is, 32,000th place gets you double your money back. It gets you that $40. So you really need to finish in what? I mean, that's almost the top 10%, right? I mean, let's just do the math on that really quick. Call it 32 out of 294. If I can type. Yeah, you're talking like the top 11% just to double your money in a field of nearly 300,000 people. It's a fairly significant ask. And then I'll show you the payouts, but that's a concern. Now, the good news is not all contests are built like this. There are some really good contests. One of them being this one right here, the slant, the $500,000 slant, which is, I think it's fair to say, this is like widely considered the best payout structure, where it's only going to pay out 21% of the field compared to the Millie Maker's 23%, but and it's only $9. It's only a $9 entry. They're still taking the 15% rake, so it's comparable there. There's less people in it. There's 65,000 in it, but the first payout is double your money. So then when you get to that, that 10%, finishing in the top 10%, like we talked about, you're basically already doubling your money and then some, because you'd be in the $20 payout instead of the $18 payout. So first here being 50,000, which is 10% of the entire prize pool. That's generally the accepted standard as far as the best payout structure. So 10% to first, and then 10th place being 10% of first place, which in this case it is. So 10th place is 5,000, 10th through 8th, and then first being 50. This is like the ideal structure for a large GPP. Really, really good. So, and then just to kind of illustrate a little bit in terms of the difference in these two structures, I made a quick visual that I'll show you here. So I just threw this together. If you're looking on the video right now, I just kind of threw this together very quickly to try to illustrate the difference between these two structures. Now, remember, one is a $9 buy-in with 50,000 up top, and one is a $20 buy-in with $1 million up top. The Millie Maker has 294,000 entries. The slant has 65,000, I believe. But if you just look at the structures here, so obviously they're all going to be very top heavy, but there's a fairly the significant jump from, even, what is this? The 8th place finish. It's basically a straight line up from 8th to 1st when you look at the Millie Maker, display here. It's a much more gradual rise to the top for the slant. But what is also interesting to me is the different pay jumps. So I know there's more people in it, but if you look at this from 50th place to 26th place in the Millie Maker, they all pay $3,500. You do not get any more credit for finishing in 26th than you do in 50th. That is all the same. In the slant, obviously it's less money because there's less people and it's a smaller buy-in, but there are actually basically 2.5 different pay jumps here. So 50th pays 500, 40th pays 750, and 30th to 21st pays 1,000. So there are differences between finishing in 28th compared to 50th in the slant, but not in the Millie Maker. So you actually can kind of level up a little bit here, and you're rewarded for a much more, the splitting hair. It starts to split hairs when you get this deep into it, because there's a lot of people in it. Is there a big difference between 26th and 50th? In the Millie Maker, the answer is no, not really, because you're all being paid the same thing. But in the slant, you can actually level up if you are better than your opponents in that spot. So all that said, what I want to make clear is just a few things. Know what your goals are, okay? Know what types of contests you want to play based on those goals. Understand the rake and the payout structure of the tournament that you're getting yourself into. That includes both the top portion of it and the very bottom portion, the min cash portion of it. All of that, using that knowledge, giving yourself even just a 5% edge every single time you play, it starts to add up. On your bad weeks, you're not going to lose as much. On the weeks that you min cash, you're going to make a little bit more. Just know what your goals are. It adds up over time, I promise you. Let me know what you think about this, and if there's anything else I can show you in terms of contest selection, tweet me. It is @RickRunGood, or leave a comment below. Talk to you guys soon. Good luck.